Hey guys, Deanne here from Canada Abroad, and thanks so much for tuning in. Today I'm just going to be telling you about our OINP calculator and what you can use it for and why it's important. So anybody who is interested in using a provincial nomination from the province of Ontario needs to be aware that there's two types of provincial nomination programs that Ontario has. So I have discussed this a few times before, but it is something that some people find a bit more complicated. So I'm going to go over that briefly, and then we're going to talk about why the point system is so important and why you would want to use the calculator. So the first thing you need to know is two types of provincial nomination programs exist. The first one is linked to Express Entry. So you actually have to have an Express Entry profile in order to be considered for those provincial nomination programs. So that would be the Human Capital Priority Stream, the French Speaking Skilled Worker. Those are the Express Entry related provincial programs. And what happens with those is if Ontario is interested in you, they'll give you a notification of interest, and that will say you have X amount of days to submit your documents to Ontario, and they will review them. If everything is as it was on your Express Entry profile, then they will issue you with a provincial nomination, and that nomination gets loaded to your Express Entry profile, and that gives you 600 extra points for Express Entry. Okay, and then as we know, with 600 extra points, you'll likely receive that invitation to apply, and then you apply for permanent residency. The other type of programs that exist with the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program are what we used to call paper-based applications. So what happens with these is you do not need an Express Entry profile. Most of them are, all of them are related to you having a job offer in Ontario from an eligible employer. What happens with these ones is you do an expression of interest directly with the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program and not through Express Entry and not through IRCC. So the first step is actually doing this expression of interest with the province of Ontario. And then what happens is when you create that expression of interest, they give you a score. And this is based on a variety of factors depending on the program that you're applying from. So it can look at the details of your job offers, such as the NOC code, the tier level, your hourly wage. It can look at how much you've earned in the province of Ontario in the last year, the location of the job offer. Some programs will look at your education history, your English or French proficiency. And what they do is they then assign you a score based on all of these factors, and they will then pick people either based only on score, or it can be a combination of your score and certain occupation codes that are being targeted. So if you're going through one of these programs where you have a job offer and you're not being picked through Express Entry, or maybe you're not eligible for Express Entry, and you want to do this expression of interest with Ontario, it would be important to calculate your score so you can see what you will have once you submit this expression of interest, and that will give you an idea based on previous draws what your likelihood of success is. So with these programs, it would be, job offer foreign worker, job offer occupations in demand, job offer skilled occupations in demand, which is more trades related. It could be the master's program, the PhD program, job offer international student. So those programs would go through this non-Express Entry aligned system. Now what happens here is if you get picked, so your expression of interest, your score was high enough, they again will notify you that you've been picked. You only have 14 days, so it's not as much time as those Express Entry related programs. And you would submit all of your documents to Ontario. They will review them. And then if everything is as you put on your application, then they will approve it and they will send you a provincial nomination certificate. Then what you have to do is you actually have to create an application for permanent residence on the PR portal. So this is separate from the Express Entry portal. So it's not related to Express Entry at all. If you get a provincial nomination through one of those job offer aligned streams, then it does not add any points to your Express Entry profile. You are applying through a provincial nominee program through the PR portal, which again is separate from Express Entry. So that's the important thing to note. Okay, so there are those two different types of programs. One requires Express Entry profile, the other does not. The non-Express Entry based ones, they require job offers from a qualifying employer in the province of Ontario. So if you need to know more, or you have a lot of questions on this, you can always book a consultation with one of our consultants and we can go over the different programs with you. We will be posting some other videos later, just again explaining the difference on how to apply, and we'll show you what the PR portal is and just how it's different from the Express Entry portal. But for now, if you have a job offer from Ontario and you're interested in going through one of those expression of interest programs, you can use our OINP calculator to see what you would be sitting with. So thank you guys, as always, for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with the latest Canadian immigration news and updates.